Welcome, guys. This is going to be a review of The Boys. Today I'm joined by two of my friends, Jessica and Eddie, who've watched The Boys, and we have a lot to talk about. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Go ahead, Jessica.
Oh, hi everybody. I'm Jessica. A mom of three, and I love shows and movies and all that. I don't know what
No,
else.
I'm Eddie. I was with Juan on the last podcast when we discussed Yes, God, Yes. I'm a math teacher, a high school math teacher, and I also love talking about movies. So
Sweet. We saw The Boys episode, season 2, episode 1, 2, and 3. But before we were going to talk about that, we wanted to talk about The Boys season 1. Just so people could know like where you guys are coming from when you were, watching the show, for season 2. What were some of your like quick thoughts, when it came to season 1 as a whole?
like a recap or just thoughts?
Yeah, it's thoughts, recap. Yeah, it's a little both. I don't know.
The first thing I remember, I had a conversation with you. I don't know if you remember it. Dropping you off from picking you up from Alamo and taking you home. I remember telling you that I didn't think I was gonna like it. It just looked really. I don't know. It didn't catch my interest. But then I was like, you know what? I'll watch it. It's got Carl Urban, and anything with Carl Urban automatically deserves it deserves a shot. And I started watching, and I was like, this is actually fantastic, and I got hooked. So.
Oh shoot! So you watched it because I told you about it? That's
No,
it.
no,
Oh.
no. This was after the fact, I think.
Oh, okay. Still cool. And you, Jessica?
I got hooked like right the first scene. When his girlfriend just dies right in front of him. I was
Oh
like, what the
yeah.
heck? My first thought was like, isn't this a superhero show? So I was kind of confused.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, okay, I have to keep watching. And it was just like shocker after shocker. But I totally loved like this whole different perspective of like superheroes aren't,
Good.
clean cut and
Yeah, it's kind of like the mirror image, like how can I say it? Like the evil twin of like the Justice League, pretty much.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
So I like
a
that whole
bizarre
new.
world where
Yeah.
they're more evil. I don't know. I don't know if necessarily that we could call it realistic. Maybe like
Uh-huh.
if there were actually superheroes, it would be easy to corrupt them. I don't know, but like it's definitely like a mirror image of like the Justice League kind of thing.
Yeah, I get what you mean by more realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we see Avengers and they're all like sweet and innocent and
Yeah.
you know.
You
But
know
like,
they're gonna be good,
yeah,
but
yeah.
in the real world, it's not necessarily so clear cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, yeah, when I saw The Boys season 1, I think it was around the second or third episode where I was like starting to really enjoy it. But um what was really cool was just like Eddie was saying, Carl Urban was just like really good in that movie. I mean, in that show, and like his performance is just like that's really one thing about Carl Urban is like he always gives like his 110%. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's always um gonna do that. It's always gonna be a joy to watch. But yeah, it was totally. At first, I was a little bit put off by like the ultra violence and everything. But as soon as I saw what they were trying to do, which was kind of like almost make like a criticism on, celebrity status
Hmm.
um uh and even just like the whole idea of being good and like
Mm-hmm.
being the one to be the arbiter of justice and whatnot, like that's when I was like, wow, this is like really good. What would you guys have given season 1, like on a score of like 0 to 10?
From what I can remember, season one, I'd say maybe like a 9.
A 9? Yeah,
Yeah, a
no.
9.
And Eddie?
Yeah, I don't want to rank it perfectly. I mean, like I didn't see any flaws with it, but like at the same time, I wouldn't consider it like probably the best I've ever seen. So probably
Mm-hmm.
like a 9. Like yeah, I think a 9's fair.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just doing something. Okay, there you go. Cool. A 9. Yeah. I would say probably a 9. Or 8. I don't remember it completely, but yeah, it was really good. It was really good. And well filmed. Like when you're watching the show, it's super like well filmed. Like the cinematography
Mhm.
and everything. It has kind of like a Hollywood quality, uh,
Yeah.
production quality. You know what I mean? Especially when you compare it to like uh, other shows like on the usual, like anything from NBC or CBS or whatever. It has kind of like that low
Oh yeah,
budget
total different
feel.
quality.
Yeah.
Amazon puts out good stuff. I mean, I've been watching. I started watching Hunters. What else? Jack Ryan's really good. Amazon puts out good quality
Oh,
stuff.
I do like that one, Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second season, but I loved the first season, and I need to. It's on my list to see season 2.
Yeah, dude. I feel like secretly Amazon, HBO, Netflix, and Disney Plus, they have like the best original content right now. Those 4.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the holy quadrilogy. I say.
But I feel though like they probably have more money to invest in those kind of shows compared to like NBC. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Oh
and it's
yeah, I
Amazon.
mean
Amazon's like, you know,
totally. Amazon could buy the whole world probably.
several times over.
Yeah.
And then Disney is the biggest movie company, and Netflix was the first. So, and HBO just likes to burn money. So, okay. So going into The Boys season 2, episodes 1 through 3. What are your like initial like thoughts in terms of, because I kind of see these 3 episodes as like act 1 of the story. At least by the end of it, it feels like it's like we're reaching the end of like act 1 of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I get you.
yeah, so as an act 1, how are you liking it so far overall?
I thought it was pretty great. I mean, I don't know. I just loved. It was really interesting to me to see, kind of the growth of the characters. Like it's particular, like where Huey and where Starlight started out in season 1 compared to how they started out in season 2. I think, but I think though by the end of episode 3, you kind of see them start even throughout the first 3 episodes, you kind of starts to see them regress a little bit. But like you see kind of how they, the circumstances that they were in, you know, the entirety of season 1, and then specifically the end of season 1, what happens with Starlight betraying her like I don't want to say coworker, but you know what I mean, like A-Train,
Yeah.
and
Her
all that
fellow.
stuff, and then yeah, and then she's like the spy now. So you kind of seen them like the scene that stands out to me in the very beginning is when Homelander is doing that interview with Starlight in like the very beginning, and you see how she's kind of like playing the part of being like this bot um, sponsor.
Barbie.
Yeah. There you go. That's probably a better
Barbie,
word.
that's a
Barbie.
good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was like so fake, but at the same time, I was like, I mean, it's got to be an act. And later on, it proved that it was an act, right? But like, it kind of shows how far she's come, for
Hmm.
example.
Yeah, as a character, like she's able to kind of ingratiate herself amongst them without having completely turned over, I guess, like in her character, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah,
And then with Huey, I mean, just like the scared, like kind of scrawny, like trembling guy in the first episode to where he is now, he's trying at least to take over, like to be the leader of the boys in the absence of Carl Urban. He even confronts Carl Urban more, I would say, more aggressively than he did in season 1 when
mm-hmm.
he
Yeah.
comes back.
Yeah,
So,
not
so like,
as intimidated.
yeah, exactly. I mean, and he's still not going to be the leader, nor is Starlight. They still have their moments where they kind of cower back into themselves, but it's still like a huge growth. So I thought that was really interesting.
And so far, so you like it? It's a good continuation of season 1 for you.
Yeah.
Cool. And you
Yeah,
just ago?
definitely. I'm liking Homelander. Like he's just all over the place in the 3 episodes. Like
Yeah.
he's losing control and he can't help it and he doesn't like it. So I kind of like how they're showing him so vulnerable and scared, and
Yeah.
just you're kind of scared too because you don't know what he's going to
Oh
do,
yeah.
right? You're just like, oh, like anything will just set him off.
The more he loses control, the further down he goes into despair, like the scarier he's actually going to be.
Yes, yes. So I do like how they're like, yeah. I like Homelander. I mean, I don't like him, but I like where they're
Yeah,
playing him
yeah,
out right
his
now.
arc. Yeah.
Yeah, right now. So I'm wondering how it's going to end this season for
Oh
him.
yeah, totally. I mean, like one of the biggest strokes of genius for the boys was, having their villain be Superman. Which makes him
Yeah.
the most intimidating like villain you could have, right? Because at a moment's notice, he could just snap your neck.
And
So
see,
Batman was that's what Batman was always preparing for.
yeah,
Yes,
it's I'm not sure which episode because I think I'm on episode 5, but the one where they're doing the protest against him and then he shows up.
I
Is that
think that's
episode 3?
episode 5.
No, right?
I think
Oh,
that's
whoops.
episode 5.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing is,
Eddie hasn't seen it.
you haven't. Okay.
I'll see 1, 2, 3.
Well,
Mild
like even if
spoilers.
you don't,
I'll
even
look.
if you don't
It's
see,
okay. It's okay. Keep going.
yeah, even if you don't see 4 and 5, you can just see like in season 1 and the first 3 episodes, everyone is scared of him, intimidated. They all kind of get nervous, and so I love the scene where he kind of goes to stand to say like I'm Vought, like I'm in charge, and he flips it around on Homelander. He's like, basically, you're nobody. You're just like a puppet. Go back to your award shows,
Yeah.
And so then they show the scene after that. He flies to Becca and his son, and I feel like he did that because there he knows she's scared. She's
Mm-hmm.
terrified of him and will do anything to kind of keep him happy and not set him off. So I think he knows that at least with them, he has some control because he can't control Stormfront either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she's not like everybody else. Like all the other superheroes are kind of like get nervous around him, and
Stormfront doesn't. Yeah, that's
he
true.
doesn't. And you can see in his. I think that's why. Well, it's because we're in episode 3, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
From what you can tell, he doesn't like her, but yeah, I kind of like where they're taking Homelander. I don't know.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know what's really interesting? I think his name is Anthony Starr, the one who plays Homelander. He talked about how people were wondering like what vulnerability does Homelander have, since he's like Superman, except he doesn't have kryptonite, right? So like, how do you defeat him? And he said, well, actually, Homelander is the most vulnerable of everybody because he has no control of his emotions, like Jessica was saying, and he's just kind of like a little kid who is kind of like he says that he's kind of like he's disgusted by the fact that he falls under like emotion, because that's like what connects him to being human, and he sees himself as higher, but every single time that he kind of like falls in his mind in comparison, like where he starts like being emotional, so he at that moment he's kind of like human, which he is human. I mean, he's being stupid, right? But like that's like his biggest like vulnerability, the fact that he sees himself as higher, but it's his emotions that keep grounding him to like reality.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, he has like a god complex.
Yeah.
I feel like his thing is he has to be loved by everybody. Everyone has to worship him, which comes in the god complex.
Now I'm thinking about it, and with the stuff that you guys were saying, it makes me think, especially where we were comparing him to Superman. I actually think if I were to compare him to someone, I would consider him a lot more like Shazam, because he's like this super powerful. He's like a Superman character, but his mentality is that like of a child. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense.
Yeah,
That's
Because
true.
like we were talking about a little bit earlier, like when we were discussing like topics and stuff like that. The scene that stands out with me so much is the scene where he's talking to his son, and he's basically saying like you should be like, we can take over the world, like nobody can stop us, we can do whatever we want, nobody can stop us, and it feels good. And there's like a lot of psychological reasons why that's true, like I would say mainly his parents and stuff like that, but it kind of shows off this childish mentality of like he doesn't know the difference. He doesn't know. He was never taught right from wrong, I guess. So he's still like in that child phase. And then the more I think about it, because like his hang up with like super terrorists versus super villains. He
Oh, right,
wants
like
like
the word.
Yeah.
yeah. He's like fixated on this idea of supervillains because that's kind of like the childish like I'm a superhero, I want to take down a supervillain kind of thing. So I mean, in that sense, I think he's like Superman, but he's got the mentality of like Shazam, like little kid trapped in the superhero's body.
Yeah, yeah. Except this is like a Shazam who didn't have like loving parents and
Yeah, yeah, it's like a
stuff.
bizarre Shazam. Yeah, exactly.
um. Okay. I'm just gonna follow this, and we'll probably go back to talk about Homelander also. But one of the scenes that I wanted to point out, which I think was really cool, was literally the first scene in episode 1, which was the opening montage with Black Noir and how he's like killing all these super terrorists, and it's juxtaposed with Stan talking to I guess like Homeland Security and like all these different
Yeah,
like military
At the
government
meeting.
agencies, yeah, at the meeting. And I don't know, I like that. I like that they use that song that you always hear in Vietnam movies, um and because it kind of like kind of paints it as like they're creating kind of like a useless war. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they created a war that like, which much like Vietnam, like looking back at it now, right? Like most people would agree that like we shouldn't have like participated in that, and seeing that like how they were using it in the show, I thought was really good. What did you guys think?
yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's pretty much like a financial war. It's meant to bring in more money.
Yeah,
Yep. And give them more power to, I
Yeah,
guess, take
that's
full
true.
control.
yeah. And you know what was really cool was seeing Black Noir, and I'm kind of like confused now because like I thought he was like Batman, but like it seems like he has
Does
like
have superpowers.
yeah, because that terrorist blew up in front of him, and sure, his suit's gonna protect him a little bit, but um
But yeah,
he seemed to,
obviously it tore through, right?
yeah, it tore through, but and then he seemed like fine by the time
Yeah.
you see him again. So I don't know. I wonder if there's like he's gonna play a bigger role like in the show, and he's just kind of like, you know,
Hanging low for now.
yeah. It's kind of like like you've read Harry Potter, right?
Read
Yeah.
it? No.
Or watched it? Yeah, yeah. You even watched it.
The
You even
first
watched.
movie.
Oh no, you never watched part 7, or 8? You haven't watched all of. Well,
Sorry.
I'm gonna ruin it a little bit.
That's fine.
Literally.
I actually like spoilers. I'm not being sarcastic. I love spoilers.
Yeah, no,
Cool.
that. I would agree with you on that. Like spoilers are usually like, even if I find out, I'm not gonna not watch.
No
You
need
know.
it.
But
That's
that's
because
me.
one thing is hearing it, and then another thing is seeing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. The execution, it's completely different, right?
Yeah. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yes. So in Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling has Harry Potter catch the golden snitch with his mouth in part 1, right? And
Mm.
you think it's just like, oh, he caught a golden snitch. It's not gonna play any bigger role. It's just like a little thing. But in part 7, it's revealed that it was actually holding the Resurrection Stone, which is one of the Deathly Hollows. And you're like, wait, what? Like
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
it's a small thing that just seems innocuous and unimportant, but she somehow makes it like,
Ties it in.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
important in the end. And so I kind of feel like Black Noir might play a similar role,
A
like
bigger role. Yeah.
yeah, like he's secretly like tied to this in a big way. We just don't know it yet, because to know it is to you know well, I mean, would be to reveal like all Vault's of Vaught's plans, which I think actually might play a little bit into why Stan treats Homelander a specific way compared to everybody else. You know, because like
yeah, you're right.
yeah, because yeah, you know what? I'll skip to that point and then we'll go back. but yeah, in that scene, like if you realize, like Stan doesn't really care to piss Homelander off. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't seem scared by him at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I would imagine that the only reason he's like that is because he has like some sort of like secondary plan that can stop Homelander in his tracks.
That or another superhero that'll be bigger and better.
Yeah.
He has like a kryptonite, I guess, kind of.
Yeah. Metaphorically or speaking, right? That's what you say. No, I don't know.
A literal kryptonite.
Literally.
or that, right? That would be weird if they did that with kryptonite, like a literal like actual.
I think the only thing that would count as kryptonite would be like some kind of mutation of compound V, but like that wouldn't just be for Homelander, that would be for everybody.
Right. And sticking to that scene for a little bit more, what do you guys think of Giancarlo Esposito being, well, like himself again? Like he plays kind of like the same role all the time. Oh, okay, hold on.
I just got a message.
Yeah, I see, me too. Yeah.
Okay. I love his character in this one. I guess it's kind of the same, like serious tie suit, but it just suits him so well.
No, yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and that scene again where he's talking to Homelander, like could care less about who Homelander is, what he can do, just like, no, I'm the boss.
So. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of intimidating in a different way, which he does really well. I mean, for somebody who's so small in stature, his presence is so powerful.
It really is.
In that scene. But going to after that, Translucent's funeral. What did you guys think about that?
Like in what sense? Like
just like in general. Like I mean, like for me, like I really like that scene because it basically, like in 2 minutes or less, tells you everything about what The Boys is about. You know, there's a lot of fakery involved, right? With Homelander's, like with his him.
Goodbye.
Yeah, and saying like, "Oh, just take care of my son for me, please," and all this different stuff, and then you even have Starlight, like singing a. I think
Jesus
is it
song?
Is it like Jesus song or Christian song, or not that it's a real Jesus or Christian song, but is she singing about? I don't remember.
I would need to recall the lyrics, but off the top of my head, it didn't come off that way.
Okay.
Like you mean it came across a little bit Christianish, like the lyrics? You mean?
No,
it could be a Christian song, but it also isn't one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like
there's some. Yeah, go ahead.
No. You go.
Yeah, because you know how there's some, everyday songs that you listen to, and they have like a bigger meaning to you, but they're not necessarily Christian. But yeah, I feel like her song was, I guess, intended to be a little bit Christian, because isn't she supposed to be like the Christian superhero or something like that, right?
Yeah.
In season 1, from what I remember.
Yeah. She's basically.
But you're right. I didn't think it was like a funny scene because it wasn't funny, but it just was so fake. Like Homelander, and then her with her music, and then that's when they had the interview where they asked them like how they're all doing together, and she plays that Barbie role of, "Oh, we're great, everything's great, Homelander's great."
Yeah, I feel like if you want to convince somebody to watch The Boys and not be turned off by like the violence and stuff, like the funeral plus that interview, like together, it's just like a 2-minute condensed version of what The Boys is all about, which is like bringing in like an indictment on like pop culture and celebrity status and just the fakery involved with
what
all
they
that.
are in front of the cameras and what their life is behind the cameras.
Yeah, and just how
No,
sorry, what?
Go ahead. Keep going.
No, I was just saying, and
Go
just
ahead.
how BS it all is,
Oh, yeah.
because
Well, see, kind of like to add on that a little bit. Oh, continue. I'm interrupted. Continue.
no, because I was saying, just because how just because how fake, like how off the truth it actually is with Translucent and Homelander, you know, talking about how he was a good father and all this all different stuff and blah 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 blah. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
The opposite. I think kind of like to add on to the thing that kind of I thought was kind of interesting in a funny way was that they did the clear coffin for Translucent.
Yeah,
Um,
when
there
I
was
saw
nobody
that, I
there,
was like,
and
"That's so
it's not
funny."
like, I mean, for those of us, for the people like for us who saw it and know what actually happened to Translucent, like, you know, the way he was cut up, obviously, like it wouldn't make sense for them to put the pieces in the coffin like visible like that, right? But
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
but there wasn't any body, even though it was clear and Translucent, like there wasn't any body because he's not capable of turning invisible again now that he's dead,
yeah,
right? So I just thought
Yeah.
I thought it was like a it adds to the fakeness of it, and it was also kind of funny.
yes, yes, exactly. Uh, okay, going on. Um, so this is probably the last like scene that I'll point out until later on, and then we can talk more about dynamics and whatnot between characters. But I thought one of the funnier and also these are just scenes that you know like small little scenes that like pointed out to me, right? Like Homelander's conversation with Stan and the montage and then the funeral. And if you guys have any that come to mind, you can bring them up as well at any point. But another one that I really liked was the tryouts that Homelander had, which is
Mm.
basically like seeing like the blind kid and like what he was blind, right?
Well,
I think.
they were
Yeah,
yeah
Or
blind, but
they
he
weren't his
could.
tryouts, right? But it was like a tryout.
yeah, yes, yes, right, yeah, exactly. And yeah, they weren't his, right? But he kind of makes them his by
Yeah,
inserting himself into it, just like he always wants to insert himself into everything. But I don't know. I just thought that scene was incredibly hilarious because it's very
Okay,
mean
there.
spirited, obviously, but like it just shows like the brutality of Homelander and how sick he is as a person that
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't even care. Oh wait, hold on. My internet connection is unstable. Okay.
yeah. You froze a little bit
No,
for a
we
couple
can see
seconds there.
you.
Hold on. Give me a second.
Okay.
Oops. Okay. Should be better in a little bit. All right. What was I saying? Oh yeah, scene. So yeah. I just really love that scene because it shows his brutality in a very comedic way. Um, even though you don't want to laugh because he just popped the ears of a of a kid who looked up to him and everything, but that kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
speaks to his further cruelty. He doesn't
Yeah, his
give a
yeah,
crap.
his character. Yeah, he's talking to him all night. He's like, "Oh yeah, welcome to team," and then bam, that's who he is. Like he's sweet, and then bam.
Yeah. Bipolar almost.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure he
definitely.
you could diagnose him as bipolar.
Or at
I would.
least like passive aggressive.
Oh, he's definitely passive aggressive. Definitely,
At
definitely.
the minimum, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think. Oh wait, never mind. I won't say anything. I was thinking about something, but it happens later on.
I know. I'm
Uh,
trying to.
Dude,
Where does episode 3 end? Because I'm trying to.
the
episode
well
3 ends
scene.
with
Just
Stormtrance
go over.
doing her press conference for killing.
Oh yes,
Um,
that's true.
Okay,
Stormfront
yeah.
has.
Okay, so they Stormfront kills the super turret. Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Yes. That's where that. Yeah. That's where it ends. Yeah. So now we can go into. Okay. So before we go into the main characters, I think it'd be cool to talk about one of the side characters, and who's actually becoming one of my favorite characters, and I have some theories about him. But the Deep's rehabilitation. What do you guys think about that like
yeah,
story arc so far in the 3 episodes?
I thought that was really interesting. I mean, I thought that was kind of a cool way to take him because he needs a kind of redemption, but yeah, the thing that kind of adds more intrigue to it from like making it just like a basic, redemption story is that I'm pretty sure the light of is it the collective? Is it the light of the collective?
The Church of the
Church of the
Collective.
Collective.
Church of the collective. I don't. It kind of seems like I'm expecting them to have something, you know, diabolical in mind. It's not like as simple as just, you know, we're trying to save you kind of thing.
Yeah,
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 there's a reason behind what they're doing, which I'm
Yeah,
wondering
exactly.
what is it. And
Yeah,
it's so
exactly.
funny because I thought after the first season with him, you know, being a douchebag, right?
Uh-huh.
yes,
I thought that was it. He was done with. So obviously he's gonna have a bigger role along the season,
Hmm.
especially the Church of the Collective. I feel like there's something there, but obviously we just don't know yet. But
yes,
Yeah.
hey,
yes,
something big.
definitely. No,
There's a
definitely.
purpose for them trying to get him back into the seven.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But
the
his
crew.
redemption, I do think it's legitimate. He's dealing with, you know, his insecurities that he's had
Hmm.
building his time and stuff like that. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see the conflict between, you know, him generally trying to be a better person, the collective manipulating him, and
Using
also
him, yeah.
yeah, and also I think um kind of like the seven, like we saw like in the end, episode 3, where Homelander was like, "Hey, cover up your guilt. It's showing. It's disgusting," and all this stuff, and also, since we brought it up, the whale scene, which I thought was, I mean, first of all, really gruesome, right? But
Super
I thought that
ridiculous.
was pretty cool, like for his character, because I don't know if they're gonna address it or not. But like it pretty much it was like almost like a repeat of what happened in season 1 where he got that dolphin killed.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Totally forgot about that. Yeah, that's true.
That was
So I
funny.
mean, yeah, I don't know if they're just gonna push it to the side or if they're gonna address it, or like if it's gonna add more complexity and that kind of thing. So I think that's really I'm interested to see what's gonna happen there.
No, yeah, for sure. I think like quick thoughts like on the whale scene and even the dolphin scene and all his scenes with sea animals. I think Eric Kripke, who's the showrunner, I think he's making a point to show kind of like how 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 do you say it? It's just how I don't want to say how hard. There's like a better way to say it, but let's say it's how hard. Like just how hard it is to be a kind of person that's caring for sea animals. You know what I mean? It's just
Mhm.
how quickly those sea animals are killed. Like that's what the
Yeah.
deep is fighting against. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Which is just
Hmm.
like they're killed and life goes on. And I think it's just like it's a small little aside to the boys in general, but I think
Yeah.
they're Kripke is like making it apparent, like kind of like just how not useless, but how do you say like you're trying to do something, but no matter how hard you try, like you're not gonna make a difference.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Um, you're
There's like
thinking
a
of
word
like
for it.
Sisyphus, the Greek
Huh?
story where he's pushing the rock up the hill.
Yeah. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. But yeah, it's definitely a small aspect of the show, right? But I think right there, he's like how quickly the animals are dispatched is like just kind of showing like today in our world, just like how kind of like hard it is to fight for those animals and their safety and stuff because it's so you know they're killed and people don't care or don't care as
Like
much
you
as they
said,
should.
the world goes on, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Um, no, but yeah. No, I was gonna say on the Deep's rehabilitation, like the Church of the Collective. Eric Kripke said that it's basically supposed to be a representation of Scientology in the show.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was wondering what religion are they going based off on, or what is it?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Makes
Scientology
sense.
makes
Yeah, it
sense.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. He's basically what he said he was going to do is kind of use them to show like how powerful Scientology is in Hollywood, which you can already kind of see. Which I can't say more now that I think about it because that happens in episode 4 and 5.
Oh,
um,
yeah, yeah.
no, but yeah, I totally like the rehabilitation that he's going through. It's just hilarious, like the gill scene that he has where he's talking to his
Oh yeah.
gills. And I
Hmm.
don't
And
know if you
also that
guys,
was really cool.
yeah, Patton
Yeah.
Oswalt, yeah, he was voicing the gills. I don't,
Yeah.
yeah, that was hilarious. But I think it's cool because I think I think one of the smaller, like subtler story arcs that you can kind of see kind of developing is that I think Homelander, it I don't know if it will be by the end of this season or in season 3 or later, but I think he's gonna find himself to be pretty alone because
Mm.
of how he treats his teammates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can
I
see
mean,
it forming already.
yeah, I was about to say, I think he already knows he's alone, especially when Stormfront came in and everyone's
Mm.
like in love with her
Yeah,
and everyone's she's I guess popular on social media. I think he already knows he's kind of alone.
and what's interesting about that is that they could kind of create kind of like a Game of Thrones kind of thing where you have these people who don't agree with each other, right? Like you're gonna have the boys who hate the soups and the soups who hate the boys. But if Homelander becomes like a threat, I think you might see them like kind of like team up, and put aside their differences ish,
I get you.
and like go against him. Like I think Homelander, like he's not realizing, but he's creating like his the one thing that can defeat him physically and not just emotionally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he was the one who let out Compound V, right?
Yes.
Right? Yeah, because
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
he was trying to be the superhero for the entire world, and it just backfired on him.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. I kind of feel like. Have you guys seen Game of Thrones?
Yes.
But you
Right.
know I haven't seen it. One.
You
I
haven't
know.
seen it? Are you joking?
No, well,
No.
Juan,
No.
we're waiting for everything to come down, and then Juan's like,
Oh
we're
my
gonna
gosh.
start marathoning it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I've
I've
always wanted to. I
seen
don't know why I've never. Well, I know why I've never seen it.
why.
Lord of the Rings is like one of my favorite all-time genre stories, and that genre is really awesome. But I hated
Same.
the idea of having my favorite characters killed off. So I've been putting it off, putting it off, putting it off.
But see, it makes sense that they had to die. I don't
I mean,
know.
I did.
I love that all the most of the main characters died, and I feel like after that, any other show was also killing their main characters. So
Hmm.
now I'm just like, I hope no more main characters die.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, it's
getting
more
too overplayed
realistic for
now.
sure. Yeah. I
But
mean, like in Lord of the Rings, they had like the most amazing plot armor where no matter what they go through, they're still alive, and that's awesome because I don't want Aragorn to die and stuff like that. But like, it's not super realistic either. So it's like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah. No, George R. R. Martin talks about like how when he first read Fellowship of the Ring and he saw Gandalf die, he was like, "Wait, what? He's like the most powerful one. What? Don't do this to me." But then he read Two Towers and he was like, "Oh." And he was like,
makes sense.
he should have stayed dead. Like that's what he was thinking, and that's where he got his inspiration for killing the main.
all the main characters.
Yeah. But to that point, at some point in the show, um, the people have to put aside their differences to fight a common enemy, right? And I feel like the boys might be reaching towards that a little bit, where you're gonna have basically everybody against Homelander, and
Hmm.
you might have like a balls to the wall like action, like extravaganza of like 2 episodes of just trying to defeat him. I don't know where the show's going, but that's what
I
I'm.
feel like it might be also against Stormfront if they all start finding out
Oh yeah,
what she's really like.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought her character was like so cool, like so interesting. Kind of like how Vought has like this perfect like bubble where everything go inside the world is perfect, and then she's just like a super awesome contrast to that. But then the way they ended episode 3 was like it just kind of like twisted around her head. Now it's like
She's
I'm
like
not
the
sure I'm gonna.
female version of Homelander.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like I'm not sure. I really liked where they were going with her. I'll have to see what happens, but the way they twisted that kind of made me feel a little bit more negatively towards what they were doing with her.
Oh, just wait. What they do with her is
Gonna
pretty.
get
Yeah.
worse.
I'm
Cause
I'm I'm super interested, but I won't say. So
yeah.
I'll
But
reserve
spoilers.
judgment.
because me and Alex we were watching it because he'll watch it, but he's not super like into it. And I was like, there's something about her that's just off. Like, and then when she kills a super terrorist, like without remorse, just dismantles him. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, she's gonna be sorry. Can I cuss?
Don't worry.
Sorry. No, because really, that was my response. I was like, oh shit. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's like Homelander, where he just kills to kill out of pleasure. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, she's probably gonna be a villain, like I don't know. I'm wondering what's gonna happen with her character.
I mean, and it wasn't just that. It was like the way she the press conference really sold me. Like she was just so cold, and like I thought it was like a perfect add-on to killing someone who's defenseless, pretty much.
Yeah, and then all
Oh
the
yeah.
people she killed along the way, like, oh, you're in my way.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
then just
true. I
kills
was
them. I was like,
wondering
I
when that happened, when that dad of that family or whatever, she just threw him against the fridge, and I was like, oh shit. I wonder if there's gonna
yeah,
be I was like, oh, what are the repercussions gonna be to that? But like I
she
guess
doesn't
Bot's
care.
gonna take care of it. Yeah,
I,
yeah, exactly. Bot's gonna take care of it. She'll be fine.
yeah, of course. No, but I think what's interesting about that scene where she's going after Kimiko's brother. Spoiler alert for anyone listening, but if you're watching a review, why you want that? But like what's really interesting is that I think you can already see. I mean, I was already thinking about in episode 3, but you can already see that she had like I think it's obvious that like she's also like Homelander is patriotic, but he's also um like with like he's racist, but he doesn't try to be. You know what I mean? It's because of his patriotism, which I think is interesting that they use that makes him racist in certain respects with how he treats certain minorities. But you can see in Stormfront like completely like she is completely like I feel like she's like you can see that like her shtick is gonna be that she's like really racist because there's certain things that she says in the first 3 episodes that kind of point towards like that, but the way she just kills the people in her way who are coincidentally minorities, right? Like they're
hmm
African American, like the
Hmm.
father that she killed, and then like when you see in the end when she's killing the terrorist, she takes like a supreme pleasure in it.
Yeah, joy.
That I don't
Yeah,
know
where she
if.
pushed him down to his knees,
Mm-hmm,
and she was just
She
like
brushed, she broke
overpowering
his
him.
hands, and then yeah,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I think she
he was
overdid
already
it.
defenseless.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I think that there's a connection between how the fact that she goes out of her way to kill someone who's not really in her way, which was the African American father, and then takes such pleasure in killing a Vietnamese. I think it's Vietnamese.
Did they say his name, or is it just super terrorist?
I think they do say his name.
It was I don't remember it, but yeah, they're
Yeah.
Japanese. So
Yeah.
Is he Japanese? Okay,
yeah,
my bad. Sorry,
Kimiko's Japanese name. I don't remember the
that's
guy's name.
Philippine.
Um, also, I recognize a couple of Japanese words, and they were speaking Japanese.
Yeah, I think there's a connection between that. Like I don't like because if Kripke wanted to, he could have just made the family white and have her kill the father, a white father.
Hmm.
But I think there's a reason why he has her kill a black father, and then when she has a Japanese person who's completely defenseless take such joy in killing him, and I think it's because she's like secretly like super 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 racist.
I think
Hmm.
so.
Yeah, it definitely not surprised me at all.
Yeah, it's because she also has no filter, so I also wouldn't be surprised if she was also racist. I mean, she just
Hmm.
talks and doesn't care what people think
Yeah,
or say. Yeah,
it's kind of interesting
definitely.
because up to that moment, you think like maybe she'll be like a sort of ally for
To
like the boys.
Starlight, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Starlight, and but then as soon as that happens, like just flips completely.
No, yeah, no. It shows. It shows. I think that shows that Stormfront is like a master, the master manipulator of the season,
Hmm.
because
Hmm
she can play to both sides and do it super well without
Yeah,
anybody catching on until it's too late. Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Uh,
how you were talking about, like, it's all about how fake it is. Yeah, around other people, she's super fake and, this badass chick. But then with Homelander, she isn't scared of him, so she's able to really be herself. Because
Yeah.
he said something like, he was mine. and she says, "You snooze, you lose," right? Is that-
Yes, yeah.
Who's old
Yeah,
man?
like, oh, too bad. Like, even after she killed the guy horribly, she's like, like, you snooze, you
Yeah.
lose. And yeah,
It's a good contrast to season one, because in season one, Homelander had no issues threatening his team to
Yep.
get them to do what he wants, and you always like it's part of a fear of Homelander, but it's also like so when Stormfront first came up to Homelander, when she was like, I'm part of the team and all this stuff, and he was like, what? No, you're not. And then like Bob brought me in, like, and then Homelander backed off. I thought that was I kind of thought that was because she has like bots protection or whatever. But as time went on, it was kind of like no, like she's just not scared of him, and I don't know why he hasn't pushed a little bit harder. Maybe like he might be kind of in a way kind of intimidated by her too.
I guess I think that because he's so used to everyone either worshiping him or being scared, and
Yeah,
she's like, "Yeah, whatever, hi." He's like, "Oh shit."
yeah. First time he's ever encountered that.
Yeah, yeah.
No, yeah,
Well, because
most
even
definitely.
with what's her name, Maeve, right?
Maeve.
Yeah, she just will do whatever it is to please him to not set him off, and I think he was so used to women just.
Kowtowing
Um, mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
his every whim.
Yeah, but I feel like Stormfront is going to be probably a major role this season or
Oh,
seasons to come.
most definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like her, so I'm hoping she like dies pretty soon. But
So we've been talking a lot about the heroes and everything, but now I want to kind of talk about the boys, right? the namesake of the show. What do you guys think so far? Up to episode 3, because episode 4 and 5 show a lot more. So, what do you guys think so far of I think which is the core relationship of the show, Huey and Butcher's relationship? What do you guys think about it so far?
I thought it was great. I mean, I thought um, it was really interesting at first because Huey wanted to take charge and he wanted to do it his way and stuff like that. And then Butcher comes back. Like it's kind of interesting that Huey didn't even want Butcher to come back. When Frenchie was like, "I'll call Butcher." No, don't call Butcher out. Like we got this or whatever. And he calls Butcher and he's
yeah,
like, and then Huey's just like okay. And then you see them butting heads right away. Like he's still trying to, I mean, it's pretty much it's Butcher's group, but Huey's trying to take charge. Um, and then one of my favorite lines from like the first 3 episodes is Mother's Milk talking to like Billy Butcher, like he's your canary, like that whole dialogue if you remember it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I
Um,
remember
and
it.
that kind of sets the tone for that kind of like cements what their relationship is. Billy Butcher is gonna just if he's let loose, he's like bottled chaos. If you unbottle him, he's just gonna tear up everything in his path to reach his goal. But he needs like a conscience. Huey's kind of like his conscience. I think Huey is his conscience. Like
yeah.
so I really like that dynamic.
No, yeah. Huey's definitely like his like the person that grounds him to reality, so he can realize like what he's doing and like how what he's doing could affect others,
Yeah.
because like I think something that you see in season 1, and you see a little bit of it in season 2 for sure, is that you see that Butcher is walking the fine line between being the one who's going to be, who's going to defeat Homelander, but also like being dangerously close to becoming Homelander in his own way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and you said you guys like spoilers, right? There's something that I heard that I don't know is true, but I think it's true based on the comics. So this is actually a good time to talk about it. So, spoilers for anyone who doesn't want spoilers for future seasons, but I believe that the boys are gonna um, take Compound V themselves, and they're gonna gain superpowers.
Oh, I'm not on what Friday's episode. I haven't seen that one, but that'll
Um,
be. See, I kind of figured. I was like, I wonder if they will eventually take Compound B so they can beat Homelander.
the same level, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, kind of be at the same level because I'm thinking they won't see it as, oh, we're not going to be bad. We're doing it for the greater good.
Yeah,
But yeah, I can totally see that happening.
yeah, and then that would be really interesting to see. you know, how easy it would be for Butcher to fly off the handle, and if Huey will be able to like still be his conscience, his canary, I guess.
His
Oh, it's because
kinder.
you haven't seen the other 2 episodes, right?
No, he
No,
hasn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
next time we can talk about those. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was surprised that he apologized to Huey on the boat.
Uh-huh.
I was like, wow, because to me, yeah, he's kind of like the older brother and he's a younger brother. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And so for him to be like, yeah, I'm sorry. I was like, wow. Like it took a lot, I'm pretty sure, for him to
Yeah, that was a
apologize to
funny
him.
moment
And then
too.
he just like
Yeah,
smacks
I thought
him.
that was funny. That was cool though, and also I do agree. It must have been like for someone like Billy Butcher to come up and say like I'm sorry and all this stuff. It shows how even that they butt heads, he
Hmm.
still values him as a part of the team.
Yeah. Yeah, and how you
Another
were
brother.
saying earlier, right? How he went from like this scrawny little kid, and so him punching Butcher, I was like, oh, like he wasn't scared anymore. He was confident. I mean,
Yeah,
he like fell, right? But
yeah,
he's a bit more confident, and yeah, I do like the relationship or all of them together. What is it, Frenchie, Mother's Milk, and I like Frenchie. I think he's such
hmm
a fun character.
Frenchie.
He's
I
hard.
really
It's
like.
funny.
I love his character.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say, that Huey punching Butcher is kind of like the stereotypical thing that like a little brother would do to a bigger brother, like after the bigger brother has like done too much. You know what I mean? In terms
yeah,
of trying to like be the the one who like is the arbiter of morality and everything, and that's like the little brother like being like, no, stop it. you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, what's it called? But yeah, going to the other ones, like you're talking about French. What do you think so far? Sticking to episode 1, 2, and 3. What do you think so far about Frenchie and Kimiko's relationship?
I think he loves her. I don't know if she loves him in that way,
Yeah.
but 'cause I'm trying to think.
I think I'd
um,
agree. I think he's still trying to win her heart. I don't think I'm
there
not
you go.
sure he has yet, but I mean I'm sure he. But I mean he's still trying.
I mean, I hope so, right? At the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel
Oh, yeah. Because he asked her brother, like, teach me your, was it their
I
language
think.
or their sign language?
mm-hmm.
Which I thought was so
Mhm.
sweet. And that he went to the brother knowing how dangerous he is and didn't care, just as
Yeah.
long as he could somehow communicate with, how do you say her name? Kimiko, right?
Kimiko.
Kimiko.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I was gonna say, I think on a critical level, after seeing, you know, 4 and 5, I feel like so I won't spoil anything, but
I got you.
after seeing episodes 4 and 5, like I like what they're doing, but I also feel like they're kind of like meandering a little bit, and I feel like that's
Mhm.
probably because they need these storylines to kind of converge at a certain point, right?
Mhm.
But I do feel like it's a little but by the time you get to episode 5, you'll see Eddie. Like it feels like, at least to me. But I do like the relationship, but I feel like they're definitely the weakest link of the show right now, because it just kind of
Like that
feels.
storyline
Oh,
or
Yeah. Like
yeah.
okay,
that
I
okay.
enjoy
storyline.
their characters, but like yeah, like as far as character development, they're kind of in the back.
Yeah. And episode 4 and 5 try to do a little bit more with them, but they kind of, like I said, it meanders. Doesn't really
Okay.
move forward too much. That I think that would be the only criticism so far I have when it comes to story arcs and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Because I really love how Mother's Milk, or MM, right? How he's kind of becoming kind of like the mom of the group.
Yeah.
Hence mother's milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, but yeah, he's kind of like the. I mean, no, seriously, like he has like that kind of like the like that mother's like intuition of like, you know, being able to see things clearly and have them be able to stop fighting and forgive each other and also have like those moments of wisdom, like the canary and like all that kind of stuff, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I feel like he definitely brings balance because Huey's like one extreme and then Butcher's another extreme, and he's just there to, bring.
What do you think
Uh,
about that? Because you yourself are a mother. Do you think he's like a mother?
yes, because I don't want to say Huey and Butcher are like kids, but yeah, it's like two kids fighting, and one wants to be the big one. And then the
Yeah.
mom comes in like, "Hey, knock it out. I see your point. I see your point. Let's meet halfway." So yeah, definitely. Yeah. I can see him being like the mom.
Yeah. I think that
Definitely.
was really like just to kind of emphasize that point, like the whale scene when Huey's just like, I don't want to go, like he's throwing a tantrum, like I don't want to go,
Yeah.
and then Big Brother comes in and he's like, hey stupid, let's go, like let's get out of here, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna go, and then Mother's Milk comes in and he's like, and then he fixes it basically, so it's like
Yeah. He's like, okay, I'll stay behind. You kind of do that as a mom too. Like, okay, you don't want to do this, fine. Then I'll sit with you and I'll be with you until you're ready to go. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I really loved about that moment was not only like Mother's Milk being like, the mom in that situation, right, and being there with him, but it was a really interesting way of showing to Huey like how his actions and his inaction have consequences. You know what I mean? Because like if he decided to stay, then both of them would have gotten caught. But
Yeah.
showing that like his actions and inaction not only have consequences, but they affect those around him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Which that
Yeah.
I like that little like
Oh yeah, and you can
teachable
see Huey's
moment.
response to it. He was like he was legit. He was gonna stay in there, and then Mother's Milk throws down the ultimatum. Well, then I'm going with you. And then Huey's like, fine, fine, bastard. Like I'm going because I don't want you to get in trouble, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Exactly. And I guess from there we can go into yeah, because I want to talk about that, basically the ending of episode 3. But do you guys have any other scenes that you wanted to talk about from episode 1 or 2?
There was just like a little kind of like a little tangent, or not really a tangent, but coming back to something I was talking about earlier when we were talking about Mother's Milk. It made me it kind of clicked. Uh, just just to re-emphasize that Homelander is kind of like stuck in this childish mentality, because you remember when I think it was in episode 1 where he has like Madeline's breast milk and he's like just like fawning over it, kind of thing. That was, I mean, for just a really creepy scene in general, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
it emphasizes kind of like he was romantically attracted to her, right? But at the same time, it was kind of Oedipal. Like he had like a little bit of an
But
Oedipus complex going on
yeah,
because
yeah,
he was like
definitely Oedipus.
his authority figure, like kind of like his mother figure.
Mhm.
Um, so it kind of just kind of shows how twisted he is, and it also kind of shows how he's still stuck in like that. He really like he needs someone. Well, in season 1, he needed someone to just kind of guide him, and in season 2, now that he killed her, right, he has nobody to guide him. He's just going crazy. So that's just a
Yeah.
little side note that I thought of, that I was thinking of as you guys were talking.
No, definitely. Like what you're talking about, and I just noticed that when you said it right now about him having an Oedipus complex. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Yeah.
Oedipus. Yeah, yeah. No, that's totally true. Yeah, yeah. No, and that scene was really creepy. And
Yeah.
anytime it was him and her, like in season 1, I was just like,
It was
Awkward.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you see that he sees her as a mother figure, but then they're both attracted to each other. So I think that's why it's
Mhm.
just so weird, because it's like just a weird dynamic. I don't know.
Hence the
Yeah.
Oedipus complex,
Yeah.
which is yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah. That's definitely, and also that's also a connection to how he is. Like as much as he tries to fight against it, he very is much human.
Mhm.
Like because very easily controlled by his emotions when it comes to even just reminiscing about um the person that he killed also, which is just makes him even more
Yeah.
sociopathic.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, it's also in episode 2 when he throws off his kid off the roof,
I want to say it was episode 2. Yeah.
right?
yes.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? He just
uh
throws up, could care less, but because he really, I guess he knew deep down like his kid is a superhero.
Yeah.
And then I love how the little boy, like his instincts kicked in when Homelander grabbed his mom.
Uh-huh.
Like he just this rage. It came out of anger and rage, and Homelander liked that. That his superpowers are coming out, but
Yeah.
with anger. So I thought that was interesting.
What
And
was
oh, and then he tells Becca something about like he's gonna end up basically messed up once he finds out like she's kept him out of the real world. Which
Yeah.
definitely, like, imagine just this kid finding out there's more to life, and he doesn't even
Mhm.
know. So I can totally see like a mini Homelander Junior.
it
Yeah.
could so at first I was thinking that that was going to happen, but I think the scene with him fighting his Homelander, pushing him off and everything, I think that it shows that he doesn't care. Like, and it also shows like what Homelander could have been had he had a mother who cared for him and stuff. And
I will say,
I think for sure you're gonna see Homelander's son. He's not gonna become at least I feel I don't think he's gonna become Homelander. I think he's gonna be a representation of what Homelander could have been, and maybe that makes Homelander even more pissed off at some point. But I also think that now the boys have somebody who can measure up to Homelander, which is
mhm.
his own son.
The good
Yeah.
version. Yeah.
And you can see like you mentioned a little bit earlier, Jessica, like Homelander does he like applauds him, like finally you got these powers to come out, like especially through anger, because that's kind of what he wants them to be the same,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But you go back and then he's talking to Maeve, like after Maeve is talking to her ex or whatever, and then she hangs up
Oh.
the phone and he's like, like you're there, I've been able to count on you for such a long time, and Maeve's like, yeah, like kind of just going along with it because she's scared of him, right? But she's like, yeah, me too. And he's like, really? And he breaks down. I think that's where I think that's where it starts to hit him. Like not even my own son's on my side. I have nobody on like who's really on my side, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Except for Maeve. At least that's what he believes.
No, and then you guys were talking about like the whole anger right aspect, which is like how his son used his powers because of his anger, but I feel like his son is kind of like like he has a more just anger, right? And he
Mm.
also doesn't try and hurt Homelander. He just pushes him off. You know what
Yeah,
I
no,
mean?
that's cool.
Like if he wanted to, he could like well on him, no matter. Obviously, it's not going to do anything to Homelander, right? Because they're both
Yeah.
super beings, right? But like he kind of like had like it kind of reminded me of basically like what Superman is supposed to be, right? Because Superman is supposed to be kind of like a representation, at least in the comic book form, like of Jesus, right?
Hmm.
And that would be like in that instance kind of like a just anger, similar to like
Yeah.
Jesus in like the Bible whenever he gets like angry at the people who were selling stuff at the
Hmm.
inside the church, and then he like pushes the table and like whips the table and everything, but he
Yeah.
doesn't do anything that's gonna harm them physically. And it's kind of like you see that here too. Like he uses his anger, but the son has a
To protect his
control.
mom,
Yeah, to
right? Like a
protect his.
protective. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and he also has control over it in a way that Homelander doesn't, or he has it, but it feels like it at some point he's not gonna have it.
Wait,
Yeah.
did the little kid know he had superpowers? No, right?
Not until that point.
Yeah,
No?
it's Homelander pushing him, and well, then him
Forcing him, but
pushing Homelander that he finds out that he has powers. But you see, because that happened, and then the kid doesn't really do anything after that. I feel
Yeah.
like I think what Homelander wanted just kind of like fell on its face because the kid is not like him. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like in every aspect that Homelander tries to show that he's gonna be like him, the kid just shows
And it's
like,
also
is that right?
you froze on me for a little bit. Keep going. Finish your sentence.
Oh, okay. No, just that his interactions with his kid, everything he tries the kid to do, he tries for the kid to do, the kid just shows like the good version of that because
Yes.
he's being raised by a loving mother, which Homelander completely lacked.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say too.
Valid.
That's pretty much just to add on to that point. It's like a strong juxtaposition between Homelander and his son, because like for me the big thing with Homelander that's wrong with him, like or like what started him off down his path of being a sociopath. Um,
Psychopath, also.
so, yeah. Yeah, is that he didn't have anybody. He didn't have parents to guide him and say this is right, this is wrong. He's basically like a little kid that got whatever he wanted. Whatever he wanted, and he turned into this like he turned and he's turning into a supervillain, right? Versus his son, who's pretty much like a carbon copy of him. It shows what can happen when you have someone to guide you versus when you don't, basically.
Yeah.
If it ends up going that way, where the son is like grows up to be, everything that Homelander should be.
Yeah, no, I think for sure. I mean, I'm assuming this show is gonna go at the very least for 7 seasons,
Have
and
they said?
no,
No,
but I want to say that I'm
I mean
pretty
as popular
sure.
as it is, and then they're following the graphic novel.
Yeah, so like I'm pretty sure they can, like by the 7th season, they can age up his son to be like 17. Because how old is he supposed to be right now in the show? Do you guys know?
I don't think they said 10.
They don't make any
No.
reference, right?
No.
Oh wait, how long has she been missing?
Oh, that's true. I don't know.
It was,
Yeah, let's say
it's,
if I would guess, I would say 10 years.
okay.
That would
Yeah, minimum 10, 11. Yeah.
Yeah, so say if it's season 7, season 8, he's already going to be like 17, 18 years old. Boom. You already have somebody who's of adult, well, technically of adult age to fight Homelander.
Yeah.
So before we finish, I wanted to see. Oh, we didn't really talk about Huey and Starlight. What do you guys think about Huey and Starlight? Or what's her real name?
Annie?
Annie, there you go.
Right, Annie.
I mean, like as far as will they make it kind of thing, or just general thoughts on their relationship?
Just general thoughts. How general thoughts in where they're going as characters in the relationship, and whether or not you like enjoy it, or if you have any thoughts about it.
Yeah, I like how they're growing together because you can see pretty much in season 1 where they're both kind of like these awkward, nerdy. I mean, obviously there's a huge difference in Huey is just a guy and Starlight has superpowers, right? She's the rest of the Starlight versus Huey's working in the shadows, but they're still kind of awkward and they don't know what to make of what's going on around them, and then you see them grow together. I think it's like they're parallel to each other in how they're growing from being awkward to being more and more suited to what's the task that's put in front of them. So I like that. I do like that
Yeah. I like their friendship more than their
relationship. Really.
romance.
Yeah,
I
I
hope
was about to say.
I hope they hold off on the romance but grow together more as friends, and him be there for her, because obviously she's having a hard time because she went in going in there thinking everything was amazing as a superhero, because obviously what they show on camera, and then when she gets there she was violated by Deep, and then finding out how crazy Homelander is. So yeah, I hope they keep them as friends, because I think that's what she needs more to grow, um a friend than a boyfriend. But yeah, I do like how they're both growing together and are there for each other. Yeah, I do like
Mhm.
that.
Yes, and also I think that their like romantic scenes are kind of cringy too, pretty much. So I
like
definitely they need to work on that.
like which
Unless that's what they're going for, then
like
actually,
which like which
yeah.
ones are
I'm trying to
cringy?
Like
remember
the motel scene.
the motel. So what do you put from the motel scene?
Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. I think that
That's
might be
okay.
another episode.
I'm kidding.
I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm
that
kidding.
yeah, it's another episode.
Oh,
I'm so
okay, okay.
sorry.
No, that's fine. But I'm trying to remember, but it was like I forgot. There's something where it's like I can't go on without you, or something like Huey tells Starlight. I don't know. Does that come into mind? Like if you're not here, I won't be able to go on, or something along those lines. Maybe not those exact words.
Was it when he did the phone call? Where he
Yeah,
was
yeah. I
called?
think it was on the boat, right? I think it was that.
Oh yeah, because he goes and hides and then sees like the light, and he's like, "Oh,
Mhm.
it's Starlight." And right away he
That
was
too.
like, "Did you
You
hear
came.
my? Did you? Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
There
I
you go."
remember.
That was. I was like, that's terrible.
Oh, okay, I see. No, I guess in that sense, it's definitely the point. Because he's so engrossed with Starlight. He doesn't even stop to think that she's not there because he called her. She's there
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the seven are there.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Kind of.
But I will say in season one, I think they did their relationship was a lot more well done.
Hmm.
They're dating, meeting at the park,
Oh yeah.
going on their dates and stuff like that. I don't know if it's out of necessity where their relationship was a little bit more strained because obviously they can't see each other,
Hmm.
or if it was just bad writing. I really don't. I can't. I
And
can't.
well, I mean, he also kind of betrayed her, right? He lied to her, so I can see
That's
why
true.
she's awkward towards him.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did lie to her. But what's really interesting is that they kind of have, and I wonder if they're gonna go in this direction. But it feels like they're kind of going in a like Romeo and Juliet kind of way, in the sense that she's part of the seven, he's part of the boys.
Mhm.
They
That's true.
both don't like each other, or from families technically that don't like each other, and I wonder if that's gonna end up playing a bigger role, but also maybe foreshadowing what their ultimate fates might be. If you've read Romeo and Juliet,
Possibly.
I don't know if you've read.
I haven't read Romeo and
They
Juliet, but everyone
die.
knows what happens. So.
Who are they?
It's on Amazon's next series, which is coming.
But yeah, so yeah, um, yeah. So what would you guys? I was thinking about scores for separate episodes, but since it's all kind of a blur, what would you give these first three episodes as a score? 0 to 10.
Mm, um, I mean, I
I'm
was
trying to think.
engaged. I was engaged the entire time. I didn't have, like looking back, you're like, oh well, I didn't like this. Like I didn't like the way they did Huey and Star's relationship, that kind of thing. But otherwise, I thought it was pretty much everything I wanted it to be. So,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't have any problem keeping it at a 9.
I was gonna say 9. Yeah.
Yeah, no, to me it's definitely like 9.5, almost 10, just because at least for the first three episodes, there's almost like nothing wrong, in my opinion,
Mm.
Mhm.
with it. Like the pacing is so much faster than season one.
Yeah,
Like it's almost like season two just picked up where season one left off, with all
yeah,
the momentum that it already had built up. It doesn't
Yeah.
like slow down. Like how a lot of TV shows, like it builds up and then it slows down because a
Hmm.
new season, a new villain, and blah 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 blah. But because this is a more serialized show, kind of like Game of Thrones. But even Game of Thrones itself had clear rises in action and falls, right? And
yeah,
but here it feels like it rose and it just stayed, you know
yeah.
and that changes. But for the first three episodes, yeah, definitely it's like definitely stronger first three episodes than the first three episodes of season one.
Yeah. My
I would
only
say.
question is that CIA lady, what was her name? The one with her head got blown up.
Yeah.
I want answers.
Oh, I
I
totally
want
forgot
answers.
about
Oh, yeah.
that.
That's the only thing. Like when I saw it, I was like, what the fuck? Like I was like, what is going on?
That's true.
Because was
Sorry.
it a certain word she said that like made her head blow up, or what was it? I need
Yes,
answers.
I think she was gonna say something. I'm not gonna say, but I think there was something that she was gonna say that they already find out in
Yeah, but
episode
I
one.
wouldn't think of it so much as like the bomb being triggered by a certain word, more as like someone's watching her.
Yeah,
Because because she said it, they killed her before she said whatever she was gonna say.
that's scary though. Like a
Oh yeah.
superhero that can just like blow you up.
Oh, you think that's what it was? No.
I think it was a bomb, but
Like
Oh, okay.
but you could be right. I
I
don't
have
know.
no idea. I have no
I don't
idea.
know. That just scared me. I was like, where did this come from?
Yeah, yes, and that's what I was telling Eddie. Like when Eddie was asking me, "What do you think so far?" I'm like, "Dude, I literally got scared." And that's the part that because I'm here. I have like a projector screen and sound system and everything. So like me and my brother are watching it like full volume and everything, and all of a sudden, I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, sorry.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was everybody's reaction. And it's so funny because we were talking about how it's a very gruesome show, but that really did throw me off. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah,
I was just scared because she was just talking and they're just talking and they themselves, like their faces and they're covered in blood. And then was it the end of the scene where they're all like covered in blood in their basement where they're hiding, watching the news, and they're just like still confused as to what happened, which I'm still confused as to
Oh,
who, what, when, where, why.
definitely.
Yeah.
And I think for sure The Boys as a show has a penchant for having people blow up, whether it's Translucent or the CIA lady.
That's true.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, I think that's a good place to clip it, cut, done, review. That's what we thought about it. If you guys have any suggestions, whoever's watching, let us know. We'll be willing to watch it most probably. But yeah, and if you guys want to talk about The Boys, I try to talk to people on the YouTube as much as I can. So, but yeah, I don't know how to end this.
Great.
What did he? What were you gonna say?
It's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.